Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to the Box Score Media Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Keaton. It is Friday, February 21st, 2020. Sorry I missed Monday. I've been dealing with the flu all week. I'm still a little under the weather, but I'm going to go ahead and try to, end the week in a high note by finishing off the podcast. There's a lot to get to this weekend, so this show is going to be basically a prediction Friday. We got some basketball, we got some mixed martial arts, we got some football, and we've got a little bit of boxing that's going to top off the end of the show. So let's get started. A lot of action in men's basketball this weekend. The big game, Baylor against Kansas. That's a number 1 versus number 3 matchup. Baylor right now 1.5 point favorite at home. I don't see them losing this game at home. I think they already took care of Kansas earlier this year by a wide margin on the road, and now you got them at home. So I like Baylor in this one. You got number 13 Auburn hosting Tennessee, number 19 Marquette against Providence, number 5 Dayton against Duquesne. Dayton's a 14.5 point favorite. This could be a close one. I think Duquesne covers and Dayton wins it by 5. Number 17, West Virginia against TCU. Houston against Memphis. Villanova against Xavier. Florida State against NC State. I think NC State actually rebounds after that 22-point win against Duke they had a couple nights ago. So I like NC State to upset Florida State at home. UNC against Louisville. I like Louisville big. Colorado, UCLA, Kentucky, Florida. I like Kentucky in a close one. San Diego State taking on UNLV. I think San Diego State stays undefeated. Duke against Virginia Tech. Arizona against Oregon. That should be a good one. That's a 24-14 matchup. I'll take Arizona at home. And number 2, Gonzaga travels to BYU. I like BYU to upset them. I don't know they don't have a spread on it right now, but I'll take BYU to not only cover but upset number 2 Gonzaga. Okay, how about a little NBA action this weekend? Skip ahead to Sunday because those are the best games. You get the Lakers, Celtics. That's 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. I like the Lakers in that one at home. Nuggets, Timberwolves. Pacers, Raptors. I like the Raptors at home. Wizards, Bulls, Spurs, Thunder. Warriors take on the Pelicans and the Trailblazers against the Pistons. So that's Sunday's games. That Lakers Celtics, that's going to be a good one. Renewed rivalry, classic, 2 of the most known franchises in basketball. Lakers 41-12 on the season. The Celtics are 38-16. I still like the Celtics to come out of the East. I don't know why. I think somehow, some way, they sneak past Milwaukee. If it isn't Milwaukee, it's Boston. But I like the Lakers getting this one. And how about Trae Young? Shout out to Trae Young last night. 50 points against the Heat. God, I think he's going to be the next breakout star in the NBA. I think give it 2 years, he'll be better than Steph Curry. He might not be a better shooter, but I think he's an all-around better ball player. I'd love to have him with the Jazz. I'd love to see him and Donovan Mitchell go at it. I think that'd be a hell of a backcourt. All right. I believe the XFL is still in business, right? Yes. So we'll see what the XFL has in store this weekend. Saturday's games, you got the Vipers against the Roughnecks. That's the Houston Roughnecks against the Tampa Bay Vipers. Tampa Bay is 0-2 on the season, and they were predicted actually to win the whole thing before the season even started. But I think they go to 0-3. Houston's a 6-point favorite. The Renegades take on the Dragons. I'll take the Dragons at home, even though Dallas is a 4.5 point favorite on the road. Sunday's games. You got the Battlehawks taking on the Guardians. That's St. Louis and New York. St. Louis 10-point favorite. The Guardians lost a little bit of steam last week. They lost D.C. They got shut out 27-0. Speaking of D.C., who is the best team in the XFL, they travel to LA to take on the Wildcats. They're an 8.5-point favorite. I think LA can keep this close. You got an East Coast team traveling to the West Coast. But I still like the Defenders to win this one, go to 3-0. I still like their team to win the whole thing. I still like Cardell Jones as the MVP of the league. He's the best player. I said it before the season started. He's going to be better than Landry Jones. He's going to take over the league. He's going to have the best stats. All of those predictions are coming true. So that's the XFL. Now we're getting to some fighting action. UFC this weekend. UFC Fight Night, Felder versus Hooker. The Irish Dragon takes on Dan Hooker. Hooker right now, minus 155 favorite. I actually like Hooker to win this. I know Felder came off that big win against Edson Barbosa a couple months ago, but I love Dan Hooker in this one. I think he should be favored. You also have Jimmy Crute versus Michael Olevskik. Michael Olevskik, I'm not sure how you spell his name or how you say his name. I'm not even sure how you spell it either. He's a minus 125 favorite. But I've seen him fight before. He's very fast, very quick. I like him to win that one. Karolina Kolajic. I've seen her. I don't know how to say her last name. She's facing Yan Xian. God, that's some hard ones. Yan is a minus 250 favorite. I like Carolina to bounce back. She's had a rough stretch lately. I like her to win by decision. Ben Sassoli against Marcos Ruggiero de Lima. No prediction there. Brad Riddell versus Magnet Mastaviv. Anybody who's a Russian who's got connections with Khabib, I'm going to take. So I like Mastaviv. He's a minus 140 favorite. And that's pretty much it. You got KGB Hill, Angela Hill. She's on the card. She's, God, that's like less than 2 months she's fighting. So she's a minus 200 favorite. I like her. And in the main event, Hooker, Felder. I like Hooker to win by knockout in the third round. So a lot of good fights this weekend, but none are bigger than the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 2 main event for the heavyweight championship in the world. And I don't care what other titles any other boxer at heavyweight has. This is the undisputed best heavyweight in the world, best boxer in the world. It is the biggest, definitely the biggest boxing match we've seen in the last 10 years. I don't care what about Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Pacquiao wasn't in his prime. I don't care about Mayweather, McGregor. McGregor's not a boxer. It was just a sucker's paradise to even watch that thing. That's why you try to stream it illegally. But I'm really looking forward to this fight, and my prediction is this. I think Wilder is going to get a little... I think Fury's going to come out with a good game plan, kind of, keep him at bay, use his prolific boxing skills, overall boxing skills, to frustrate Wilder. Wilder's going to want to look for that knockout, use that right hand, which is the most dangerous weapon in boxing, and I think he's going to load up several times, and he's going to swing and miss, and I think Tyson Fury, over the 13 or whatever rounds, is going to end up being unanimous decision victory for him, and he's going to win by decision. I understand Wilder he's a little bit faster, and he's definitely got more knockout power, but I think Fury is in better shape. I think he has taken Wilder's best shot and got up from it, and I think psychologically that's going to hurt Wilder going into this fight with the pressure on him to knock him out, because he knows that Fury is just a little bit better skill-wise. So I'm going to go with Fury by decision. I'm going to win $1 against you, Eric, if you're listening to this. And I think Tyson Fury is going to end up being the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world. And then he's going to set up a fight against Anthony Joshua, which is going to be another big one, but not as big as this one. Like I said, this is the biggest boxing match we've seen in the last 10 years. I can't remember probably the biggest heavyweight fight since Holyfield Tyson, really. Name another heavyweight fight that has this much animosity and press behind it and anticipation. So I'm looking forward to it. I think Tyson Fury gets it done, and Deontay Wilder steps back, and who knows what he does. He's got 45 fights in after this one, so who knows exactly what's in store for him next, but I'm going with Fury. I love his swag coming into these press conferences, his boxing skills, what he's done lately. He might get cut a couple times, but he's not going down. And in the end, over 13 rounds, we're going to see Tyson Fury, take it all. So it's going to be a good weekend. Again, basketball. You got Baylor, Kansas, XFL action. The DC Defenders are going to win another one and prove to be the best team in the XFL. XFL last week was pretty strong. I watched the, what was it? What was it? Why can't I think of it? The LA game versus St. Louis or whoever they played, I forget. But it was a good game, 25-18 win. Oh, the Dallas LA game last week was really damn good. That's the one I watched, and it was pretty damn good. So I think it's just going to come on strong. NBA action, a little bit slower, but we got Boston versus LA this weekend on Sunday. Check out that one. I expect it to be a good game, but the Lakers to win it. And then, of course, we got UFC Fight Night Felder versus Hooker. Give me Hooker on that one all night long. And then Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder to cap off the weekend, even though it's on Saturday. And it should be a good one. Spend your $80 well. Hopefully, and boxing is a little different from the UFC or MMA. MMA, there's a chance that the undercards are going to be as good as, if not better than the main event. In the boxing, it's all about the main event. And I think Tyson Fury gets the win and gives Deontay Wilder his first professional loss. So I'm good for today. Like I said, still under the weather a little bit, but next week more prepared, more focused, and definitely going to be more facts and more stuff to talk about. We're going to recap this great weekend of sports we have. I cannot wait. So thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Box Score Media on YouTube. Check it out. Subscribe, leave some comments on the comment section, and tell your friends, okay? And this has been Jay Keaton for another episode of Box Score Media, and I will catch you on Monday, players. Have a great weekend.